thing was built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works in blah blah blah. This thing was built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works. It's like, Jesus. Is there anything that was built by something else?
We're live.
Wait, we're live?
Yep, we're live.
Did that actually get in the recording?
Yep.
Oh my god.
This week.
Burger King number 1593 foot lettuce was built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works in 1983 for the Burger King Railroad. It held impossible boxes until 1909.
This is a mess already. Wow.
I had to.
But anyway, this week on Burning Subjects, Jim praises the mighty Mallard for her reliability and speed. Andrew eats an orange without peeling the skin off, and Stephen bombs the streamlined tank engines in Europe for existence. All this and more tonight on Burning Subjects.
Oh, I can't wait to rip them apart because they're horrible.
I'm not even kidding though.
Those things are horrible.
Not even kidding though. For the sake of the viewers' entertainment.
I got a notification that we're live on my phone.
And for the sake of the viewers' entertainment, and to raise awareness of 2926, I'm going to eat an orange without peeling it.
How's that going to raise awareness for 2926?
Because
because you're going to kill the annoying orange.
Yes.
Okay.
No, the annoying orange is funny as hell. The annoying orange is funny as hell. How about I do the annoying orange TNT rap for you guys?
No.
Anyway.
Well, too bad. That's a one-way ticket to me doing the TNT rap. One day I was walking, got the TNT, I gave it a rub, and out came a genie. The TNT genie gave me wishes free. I wish for more wishes and TNT. Yeah.
You sound exactly like Orange, Steven.
Anyway, but basically, I think we haven't mentioned the subject of this week's episode of Burning Subjects
yet. Streamlining.
Locomotive.
Streamlined.
Jeremy Clarkson would say. You heard that, right?
Play it again.
Hold on.
Speed!
That was Jeremy Clarkson saying the speed. While racing down the hallway at London Stansted Airport on a suitcase.
Speed.
It was funnier when he was
good
like,
for business.
Speed! On that mobility scooter that he made with 8 wheels.
Yeah.
And he was going slow as hell. But anyway, Jim, would you like to take the microphone for a little bit and talk about the famous and wonderful A4s?
What? The London and Northeastern A4 Pacifics. Let's see if I can. There we go.
Now that I realize it, this is the first
.com page, so we can check their attractive effort correctly.
This is the first time we're talking about the A4s on this.
Yes.
And there's also another first.
The Holy Grails of Pacific locomotive development on the London Northeastern Railway.
Oh, and there's also another
what episode
new thing.
Are we on again?
23.
Well, it took us almost a quarter of 100 episodes to talk about these things.
But here's another new thing. If you'll notice in the thumbnail, it's different. Instead of the locomotive being dismantled or not operating, Mallard is actually partially dismantled, but is operating.
Yes, it's under Steam. I noticed. It's that thumbnail where she's probably undergoing test runs.
Yes.
But anyway, the A4 Pacifics. They were designed by Sir Nigel Gresley, the chief mechanical engineer or locomotive designer of the London Northeastern Railway, from its inception of 1923 to I think about 1941 when he died. Sad. There were 35 of them built between 1935 and 38. Let's see, attractive effort, 80-inch diameter driving wheels, 250 psi of boiler pressure, and a threesome at 18.5 by 26-inch cylinders, resulting in an attractive effort of 35,455 pounds. Now, of course, it's a Pacific, so you're not going to get the highest directive effort ever. In fact, even then, later Pacific locomotives made by or designed by Arthur Peppercorn could produce more tractive effort. But the A-Force were predominantly about speed, hence why they were also streamlined. But of course, the most famous one of the bunch is number 4468, Mallard, built at some point in March of 1938. And then on the 3rd of July of that same year, when the locomotive was roughly 4 months old, it went on a world-famous record-breaking run over Stoke Bank, and near Grantham, it reached 126 miles per hour. Of course, it's pretty well known that the locomotive had suffered a failed bearing on the middle connecting rod, or the middle driving rod, rather.
Was it a friction bearing?
I don't know, but needless to say, like, it was already, it was a fairly tricky locomotive to maintain, because, Grassley was known for mostly designing 3-cylinder steam locomotives with his own unique conjugated valve gear on the middle cylinder. You did have standard Walsh-Schultz valve gear on the outside cylinders, but on the inside cylinder, it's conjugated valve gear, and if it doesn't get the required maintenance, it doesn't work as well. But anyway,
it did make its way to America. Grassley's conjugated valve gear on the 5000s on the SP and the whatever.
The 9000s on the UP and the 8800s on the UP as well. But anyway, as I was saying, what wasn't as well known at the time, or at least in modern times, what wasn't as well known about Mallard's record-breaking run is that the tracks that the locomotive operated on hadn't been replaced since 1910. Yeah.
28 years old.
Yeah, some of the track was 28 years old at the time. It was pushed beyond the breaking point, hit 126 miles an hour, and yet it didn't crash and burn and derail or whatever. So,
don't you think that's impressive?
Granted, it didn't make it to its destination of that run. But so what? The damage wasn't severe enough to
What was its destination?
I think it was supposed to be Peterborough, or Peterborough as the British will call it, but needless to say,
Bruh.
the damage wasn't severe enough to put the locomotive out of commission. Some engine crews during the 1948 exchange trials, they kind of say that the locomotive was rather strung, like it was quite strained or whatever, probably due to that record-breaking run, but whatever. Also, Andrew, I saw the duck. You put that duck back on screen, boy. We're talking about the proud duck.
Oh my god, I wish I had that. Oh my god, I wish I had my baby Einstein duck puppet. I wish I had my baby Einstein duck puppet. That way I could compete with you.
We only have Andrew's screen to go on, so yeah. Hold on.
Andrew,
that's better. Okay, but Mallard operated until 1963. Then it was retired. Then shut into the National Railway Museum in York. And it's one of 6 A4 locomotives to be preserved. 2 others, to use their LNER numbers 4489 and 4496, Dominion of Canada and Dwight D. Eisenhower, respectively, they were both sent across to North America. Dominion of Canada as well in Canada, at Expo Rail in Quebec or Montreal, I think. Whereas Eisenhower went on to the National Railroad Museum in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which is also where Big Boy 4017 resides.
And Sioux Line 2718. Well, we also got to mention it's short-lived, but I guess fitting.
Yeah,
short.
significant. It's short-lived but highly significant excursion career, which was only for a couple of years, 1986 to 1988, to celebrate the 50th anniversary of its record-breaking run.
Wow, I'm about to pass under a railroad bridge, and there's a train going up over top of it.
Nice. If you guys don't know right now,
so you're in the car or in the truck.
yeah, he's in a truck right now.
The truck.
Okay.
The truck.
Well, but anyway, the other A4s that were preserved were 4464 Bittern, 4488 Union of South Africa, and 4498 Sir Nigel Gresley. I'm using their LNER numbers for the sake of my own simplicity, but yeah. Three of those have operated regularly in the preservation era, but at the moment, that's all kind of on last legs, sort of. At least for Union of South Africa, because she's about to be supposedly permanently retired because her owner, John Cameron, is retiring from the railway preservation business. And he's going to have his two engines, that and the still surviving Gresley K4 Mogul, number 3442, the Great Marquess. He must have those engines tucked away in a museum, built to celebrate his legacy.
Another engine we've got to talk about, the Great Marquess, or Marquez. But we got to talk about that engine in the, retired British seaman.
As I'm trying to say.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Union of South Africa is close to retiring. Sir Nigel Gresley is currently in bits, but it's in the final stages of an overhaul at the National Railway Museum in York. So that thing may return soon. And Bittern is already out of commission because she's awaiting her turn for a big overhaul, from what I remember.
Oh, wait, I got an idea. How about they use Mallard as a parts donor?
Yeah.
Steve,
And
I must ask you this. Are you secretly trying to hatch a conspiracy theory to be pro-Pennsylvania, anti-LNER?
No. Fuck the Pennsy. Fuck the Pennsy up its Pennsylvania butthole.
But anyway, that's not going to happen, because the reason why Mallard is retired is because of its quote-unquote original parts, and the NRM, the staff at the National Railway Museum, they don't want to wear those parts out.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense, just like the original John Bull at the Smithsonian.
Yeah. I don't know where it is, but anyway, John Bull, that is. But anyway, I think that's basically it about the A4s.
Yeah.
So
let's see now. Another streamlined locomotive that, specifically I'd like to talk about before.
I just want to say something before then. I just noted. Well, I have noticed that all four of the A4s that are at in the UK, I've noticed that all four that are still preserved there have operated preservation at least once in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course I forgot something. Who can remember? I mean, how dare I not mention the Great Gathering?
Oh yes, where all of them were gathered again.
Yeah.
When all 6 of the preserved A4s were gathered at the National Railway Museum in York to celebrate Mallard's 75th anniversary. As part of that, Dwight D. Eisenhower and Dominion of Canada both got cosmetic refurbishments, and Dominion of Canada was even reverted back to her LNER identity of 4489. I guess, in some fairness, I should also mention their British Rail numbers. What were they? 40 Bittern's LNER number was 60019. Mallard's BR number was 60022. Union of South Africa was 6009, or should I say is. Dwight D. Eisenhower is British Rail number 6008, and Sir Nigel Gresley is British Rail number 60 6007. But 6008 and 6007. Sorry if I accidentally mispronounced it, but whatever. So, yeah. Basically, Bittern, who dropped out.
Either he dropped out or Steven has dropped out.
Okay. But basically, what I was trying to say is Bittern, Mallard, and Dominion of Canada are now preserved in LNER Garter Blue. There are a couple of light variations between those, but basically they're still the same light blue. Whereas Union of South Africa and Dwight D. Eisenhower are preserved in British Rail Brunswick Green. And Sir Nigel Gresley's painted up in the darker British Rail Royal Blue. So, yeah.
Steven has returned.
Welcome back.
He is muted and muted and deafened for some reason.
He may have to. Maybe he has to watch where he's going at the moment. I think
maybe, but after I talk about the Santa Fe's Blue Goose, I'm going to. This is gonna be a pain, but the Santa Fe's Blue Goose, personally, my favorite streamlined locomotive for obvious reasons. One,
I know it was the only streamlined steam locomotive that the Santa Fe ever had.
And two,
Two,
it actually has a very good balance of squareness on the front and circular, how it's. And, well, of course, it's blue. You know me. I love light blue, dark blue. I love blue.
Yeah. By the way, you do know that it wasn't completely one of a kind, right? Because it was the first of 6 Hudsons of its.
Yeah, I know about that, but
3460 through 3465.
But it was the only one to be streamlined, 3460, the Blue Goose. So if you don't know about the Santa Fe streamlined locomotive, the Blue Goose, it was a 464 Hudson built by the Baldwin Locomotive Works, of course.
Oh yeah, and the A4s were all built at Doncaster, I believe, by the LNER. But go on.
But the Blue Goose, specifically 3460, was the only streamlined steam locomotive to ever run on the Santa Fe's routes, and which the thing ran at up to 125 miles an hour. With these crazy 85-inch diameter drive wheels, it adds to it.
It said here that it was only 84-inch driving wheels.
Close enough. But 84 inches, they're bigger than Mallards, but
yeah.
The locomotive being heavy, it really dragged it down a little bit. But really, for the Santa Fe's only streamlined steam locomotive, it did a great job when it came to its maintenance costs, its speed, and its beauty. In fact, it was involved in a couple of royal excursions, including a couple of employee appreciation specials, a couple of...
If I may say, I thought that the Santa Fe were a bit hesitant to use the locomotive, so they didn't use it as often, usually just for publicity stunts.
Yeah.
That could be me. Would I also be allowed to finish off the attractive effort for Blue Goose and its 5 non-streamlined siblings?
Yes.
So we already established the 84-inch diameter driving wheels, and then we combine those with a boiler pressure of 300 psi and a pair of 23.5 by 29-inch cylinders. You get a attractive effort of 48,618 pounds,
which is more than the freaking P2.
As in, wait, what kind of P2 you mean?
I mean the LNER P2.
Oh yeah, definitely. But even then, I don't think by too much. Maybe a few thousand pounds.
About 6,000 pounds more.
Yeah. Also, the entire 3460 class of Hudsons, they were all built in 1937. So we kind of forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
But yeah, bad news. Blue Goose herself wasn't preserved.
Yeah. The very sad truth that Blue Goose.
Sounds surprising.
Blue Goose and most for class were sadly scrapped and, sent to the lines. But, well, specifically, Blue Goose was, it was the third to go. And, once it was sent, most people actually thought that, someone would save it, but poor thing. Just real poor thing. But, I mean, at least we have one sole survivor of its class, that being specifically 3463, which is currently getting a complete operational rebuild at the moment.
I think they're going to run on biofuel or something. Or
Yes.
just oil.
They're going.
Those parts were actually canceled, and they're just going to give the locomotive a cosmetic refurbishment.
From what I've heard, though, they want to restore the 3463 and get it running.
Ambitious, and biofuel seems to be the new way to go. So, or light fuel oil. They could pull the same stunt that the Grand Canyon did with their entire fleet of locomotives that burn predominantly recycled vegetable oil that you just had fries in.
Yeah. But you get the point, though. They're gonna take care of the last surviving of its class from the Blue Goose, which honestly is just really sad that specifically 3460 wasn't preserved, because we needed more streamlined locomotives preserved. That's what we needed. Like when
it even kind of looks like the tender was a little bit fancier than other Santa Fe steam engines.
And you know what really bugs me is that the only streamlined Hudson that's like United States built, it's preserved, is a freaking 490.
Yeah, and it's fucking ugly.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Should we talk about it? Should we actually talk about it?
No, this is a particularly fast locomotive.
490 is a disgrace to streamline locomotives. It looks like a minion.
Oh God!
Do not let Owen know about this, or don't you dare mention the CNO M1 turbines.
Well,
since you'll be going to the moon. Speaking of.
Well, I
talk more yellow. Oh, God, you're going to eat that orange. I'm going to play more music.
Well, guys, since I talked about...
Hey, Andrew, why are you eating my skin?
Well, I talked about the Blue Goose. Here goes nothing!
Let me get that.
Hey, Andrew, I can already imagine that you're having such a good time. Good time.
Here we go.
Yum, yum, yum!
Hold on, guys. Look at memes.
And certainly, we have to flag this video for monetization. Also, it looked like Michael chucked in a message, but he.
I
deleted it.
Oh, okay, that's even better.
Block him on YouTube, please.
Needless to say, let's continue. What did you chuck in memes? Which? Oh yeah, true. True.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Now, Andrew, I think you've suffered enough. So
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Andrew, listen. I'm ordering you to stop.
Oh, fuck
this
you!
This is a terrible stunt. Do not go through with this. I repeat, do not go through with this. Do not go through with this. Take Echo.
Go through with this. Jesus, tap dancing cries.
Andrew, I'm begging you, fucking stop already. Don't you have another good locomotive that you want to talk about? Because I would much rather do that than watching you suffer eating this orange. Even if I did make it somewhat worse earlier by playing "Oh Yeah" from Yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah, that's the name of that Swiss rock band, I guess.
Oh my god. Okay, I did it. I did it. Look.
Okay, now you seriously gotta get a paper towel to clean your chin. Because there's a mess all over your chin. That's better. So, yeah.
There was literally like
Andrew,
a pint
on a
of
scale of 1 to 10, how disgusting and torturous was that?
235.
Awesome.
There was literally like a pint of water in that orange.
Orange juice. Oh, God. So many goddamn. Let me fuck out.
Yeah, I think this may be some of the richest meme material out there. Even more so than the time that you got pancaked.
Oh.
Person is all like, oh, I gotta get out of this shopping center.
No. What's the next locomotive we can talk about?
I don't want to do that again.
Wait, I had a moment. I had a semi-brilliant idea. Some may say that it was a terrible idea, but I think that we have to talk about them.
Let's see.
Oh, no. You don't mean...
Certain shark-nosed boys.
The T1s.
Oh, never mind. Overrated as shit, though. Overrated as shit. Everybody just shoves it down my goddamn throat.
I'd rather talk about that than do this again.
Okay, so let's fucking check this. The flippin' T1 duplexes from the Pennsylvania. Yeah, we kind of get the drill by now. That's interesting. The fucking prototype duplexes weren't mentioned here on the page.
Why does my tongue feel like sandpaper?
Like, it only mentions the 50 production units, the 5500s.
Well, Andrew, you must be in a sandy surprise.
Fuck you!
Yeah, the T1 duplexes. They were built between 1941 and 1946. 2 prototype engines, numbered 6110 and 6111. And then 50 production units, numbered 5500 through 5549. They were, in terms of tractive effort, 80-inch diameter driving wheels, like the A4s, but 300 psi of boiler pressure, unlike the A4s, and a foursome of 19.75 by 26-inch cylinders, which results in a tractive effort of 64,653 pounds. But I think that's only for the production units. I don't know if that's also the same with the 2 prototype units. This may require a bit of thorough research.
This has ruined oranges for me!
I say while looking up goddamn Wikipedia, which is so reliable, except not really. God damn it!
Annoying orange theme intensifies. I'm gonna do.
I think it is identical for all of them.
I'm gonna hum some songs like do.
We all get the drill with the T1 duplexes now. They were very unorthodox and technologically advanced for their time, being all fitted with Franklin poppet valve gear. I believe they were initially fitted out with the Type A poppet valve gear, which was extremely finicky and fiddly, like as fuck. So you're gonna have a maintenance on that valve gear was like a fucking ball ache. But some of them were tried out with different kinds of valve gear. Some of them were fitted. I believe one of them was fitted out with Type B poppet valve gear, which was like rotary cams, similar to Caprotti valve gear. And then there was, of course, one that was fitted out with Walshart's valve gear. But, yeah. Like the big thing that the T1s are usually remembered for, not in a particularly good way, is their wheel slippage.
Wheel slippage!
Wheel slippage. Which on them was caused, on the production units at least, they were quote unquote notorious for wheel slippage, which had to do with an adhesion issue, which was caused by faulty spring equalization, but also partially due to crews not wanting to drive them as well as the smaller K4 Pacifics. Like, they would rather be particularly stubborn and just double head K4s, costing the railroad twice as much money on crew costs and locomotive maintenance and whatever. So, yeah, that's not a particularly good thing either, now is it? No, it is not. Yeah.
Prototypes didn't have that adhesion problem. But
no.
The poppet valve and all that shit.
Yeah, that was still fucking Finley's balls. Of course, none of them were preserved. They were all retired by 1956, I think, and then they were scrapped. But of course, now there's a new one coming, 5550. Some people are still believe that it's going to smash the world speed record set by Mallard. Like some people, like in particular, there's this one YouTube user called 844 Steam Train who seems to be so pro T1 to the point where it's actually really obnoxious. Like where other people who are supporting the T1 trust are kind of getting annoyed with them. Congratulations, that's quite an interesting stupidity.
Oh my god, the actual trust is
Wait, what?
No, it's not so much the actual trust. It's more so other people who support the trust. Like, in particular, our friend Ethan from Australia. He definitely seems to be rather annoyed with this YouTube user's...
Paul Giannacci, the second, I believe?
Yeah. It's Gino Chio, but he shortened it to Paul G on Facebook. But, yeah. Even Ethan seems to be kind of fed up with that guy praising the T1 trust to no end, like saying, "Oh, it's definitely going to smash the world speed record."
It's honestly, to my personal opinion, I feel like it's people like him that honestly turn me off of T1. Like, really?
Yeah.
I might actually go see it if it actually, does mainline excursion jets.
Yeah, and basically, there's no real need to go after their world record because it has been standing for so long, and because otherwise you just seem like someone who wants to have something to brag about to their friends. Like, there's no real point in going after the world speed record for steam engines unless you're trying to completely reinvent the technology. And even then, there isn't much professional interest for that. So, yeah. The problem is, you might as well just abandon those record-breaking rules. I mean, not the record-breaking rules, but just the record-breaking attempts. So, yeah. Furthermore, Mallard also, even though some people dismiss Mallard's run due to the fact that she actually went downhill during it. Like, she was on a slight downhill gradient. I mean, there wasn't anything in a rule book about it having to be on the level. But, at least Mallard still did it on an actual main line, whereas the T1 Trust, whereas those rumors of the T1 Trust wanting to smash the record, like, there are people saying that the best place for that would be a purpose-built test track in Pueblo, Colorado. In which case, I would like to say test tracks don't count. So, yeah. And the problem is they wouldn't be able to find any mainline trackage where they could do it because, insurance costs would be astronomical. And, it would be reckless. Especially, seeing how they want to drive that locomotive up to 140 miles an hour, or at least, some people believe that they want to crack 100 miles an hour. I mean, they want to reach 140 miles an hour, but still, it's a bit unnecessary. Let's keep it at that. There's no, in the end of the day, I think they did it as a publicity stunt to get a lot of people to talk about the project. So in that case, yeah, mission succeeded. But still, it's like if you actually think that they're going through with it, that's not necessarily the way to think. I'm sorry if I don't make a whole lot of sense at this point. Because right now I'm just finally loaded into Gmod, so I'm kind of whizzing around on the blue line.
And right now I'm still regretting my life choices.
You're regretting eating the orange, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, that's because, Andrew, friendly reminder, you are a blithering idiot.
You got yourself into a Sandy situation.
Well, you're the one who's been in the bittersweet situation.
Yeah, because I got KFC. Nice chicken sandwich. Nashville hot.
You didn't get the pun?
What?
You didn't get the joke?
No, there was another laugh at the end.
Because oranges are bittersweet. Whatever. That was a big middle finger.
Bittersweet joke.
Guess what?
Oh no. Oh no. Don't. No.
No.
Those are we. No, we're not talking about those, are we?
Wait, what?
Oh, wait, you mean the German Class 61 tank engines?
No. What are you saying, name?
We have to talk about them because I said in the very beginning of the stream that this was going to happen. And so far, two of those things have happened.
No.
You know that,
those abominations!
You know that, Jim was going to, talk about Mallard, and then I was going to eat an orange without peeling it. And now you have to play your part, Steven.
Oh, no.
Do you want to eat an orange hole?
Andrew, I think to be fair, Steven wouldn't know that much about these locomotives because he'd probably spend more time cursing at them because of how much he hates them. So,
well, then again, he doesn't.
I know that one of them was 3-cylindered, and the 3-cylindered one has less tractive effort than the 2-cylindered one.
Let me talk about these.
Yeah, you can talk about them, and then Steven is gonna rant about them because that's his role in this. He's so I guess Jim's like the genius, and then I'm just James May, and then
the tragedy is I'm not even that big of a genius.
and then Steven is just Hammond.
Yeah.
But then again,
ladies and gentlemen, though I presume predominantly gentlemen, I don't know if there are any ladies watching this. This is the horror story of the Baureihe 61, developed for Germany's nationalized railroad, the Deutsche Reichsbahngesellschaft. So the Class 61, it was a very small class with only 2 locomotives, and they were big friggin' oddballs of the so-called Einheits period, where
they're horrible. They're horrible.
They were horrible.
DLG designed a whole bunch of standardized steam locomotives, but these two were pretty bizarre. Because, for starters, they were streamlined tank engines.
Who the fuck would think about that? Like, why would you streamline a tank engine? Why?
I have no idea.
Why?
Um,
But
then, of
but
course,
they were both of them.
But what's even more baffling is that the two locomotives of this class weren't identical to each other. They weren't the same. They were built between 1935 and 39. Both of them built by Henschel and Son in Kassel, in Germany, obviously. It looks like Kassel was a town that would end up in post-war West Germany, but whatever. They were specifically designed for a unique streamlined passenger train called the Henschel Wegmannzug. So that's German for Henschel Wegmann train, which was intended for non-stop express services between Berlin and Dresden. But yeah. Now, on to the weird ball ache of the Class 61 locomotives. Like I said, there were only two of them built between 1935 and 39, and they were different from each other. First, you had the 61001, which, as Stephen was trying to say, was basically just a very big 464 Hudson, again, tank engine, because 464 tank engines were nothing new in Germany.
The worst one, 61002. Oh my god. It was a 466.
Thank you very much for spoiling that. Because I was saying that 464 tank engines were nothing new in Germany. This was just a particularly big one that had to be streamlined, which was good. Yes. And then in 1939, as Stephen said, he got the 61002, which didn't have the same wheel arrangement, because instead of being a 464, it was a 466. And whereas the 61001 had 2 cylinders, the 61002 had 3 cylinders. Now, tractive effort between the two. Naturally, it's going to be different, though 2 key ingredients remain the same. They're massive driving wheels of 2,300 millimeters, so, 2.3 meters. Those were literally the biggest driving wheels of the whole Einheits period. Like,
Jesus,
and in imperial measurements, in the imperial measurement system, that would be 90.6 inches.
What?
God damn.
90.6 inches. So, yeah.
And I thought 84 inches was big.
Yeah, and another consistent thing between the two is their boiler pressure. 20 bar, which is 290.1 psi. Of course, the biggest difference between the two is the number and the size of the cylinders. The flippin' 61001 had a pair of 460 by 750 millimeter cylinders, which in imperial measurements is 18.11 by 29.53 inches. Whereas the 61002 had a threesome of smaller 390 by 660 millimeter cylinders, which is 15.35 by 25.98 inches. Like, I also said it once before, that 660 millimeter piston stroke, that was usually the standard piston stroke that you would find on most German steam locomotives that were designed as part of the Einheits program and the Neubau program in West Germany, and even the Neubau program in East Germany, which we may have to talk about at some other time. But yeah, the attractive effort between the two, the 61001, 26,360 pounds attractive effort. The 61002, 24,991 pounds attractive effort.
You see, the 61002 is the biggest nightmare out of the two.
Yeah, like, the reason they made it a 466 is because the 3 cylinders. So I guess that as a result of that, it needed a larger coal bunker, because a 3-cylinder locomotive would be less economical or less efficient than a two-cylinder locomotive of roughly the same size. So, yeah. Neither of them have been preserved.
Good!
Jinx! The 61001 was retired in 1952, and it was scrapped in 1957. Whereas the 61002, the 61001 ended up in West Germany, whereas the 61002 ended up in East Germany. But the 61002 was eventually reused as the base frame for what is arguably Germany's greatest set of spare parts.
18201.
Yeah, the 18201. Like, trust me, that thing is amazing. That thing was built, or rather rebuilt, from a bunch of different steam locomotives, all kind of coupled together in 1961.
What is this shit?
By the Deutsche Reichsbahn's locomotive facilities at Meiningen. I think it was actually built in 1960. Sorry, but yeah, basically it was a combination of the frame. It was a hodgepodge of different locomotives. Like naturally, the 61002 for the frame. You had the tender from a Class 44 locomotive. I think also the trailing wheels from a Class 45 locomotive, and even I want to say the boiler or so from a reconstructed Class 41 locomotive. So it's a hodgepodge, but oh man, what an amazing hodgepodge of parts it was!
How did they do it? How were they able to do it?
Standardization. But basically, like the 18201, that wasn't built to be put into service, but it was more so built for high-speed test runs to test out new carriages. I'm actually kind of interested in what the tractive effort of that son of a bitch is. I gotta look this up.
Oh no!
But obviously, we have those big driving wheels, 90.6 inches. I want to know this so badly, please. Oh, can I look it up here?
Guys.
Can I look it up here? Yes, I found it. Oh, no, wait, that's not the one.
Guys, I just realized I need to talk about Suckfest.
Oh. More like Snooze Fest 1.
Oh, God, I can't. Fuck. Turns out that it isn't here. God damn it.
Why don't you
I can't find it. This is so fucking humiliating.
Alright, let's get this fucking Suckfest 1 shit over with.
Not yet. Jim's not done yet.
Yeah,
fucking Jim.
And then, Steven, do you actually have a particular streamline locomotive that you want to talk about?
I'm not so sure. Don't. Oh, wait. A little more of a proper streamlining for German. Jim, obviously, but for one thing, it's an Enderin,
not a
Oh,
tonk.
wait, I know what you mean.
I actually don't even know jack shit about that locomotive. I know it operated between 1995 and 2004. Version service, so 9 years service. I don't know. I think it's still in line casing. Like, I know that there is some pictures of it on display in a parts center where it looks not.
Yeah, you're talking about the 011102, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, that's something that I can actually give you the tractive effort for. The L110s were one of the last classes to be introduced as part of the Einheits program. They were introduced in 1939 as a 3-cylinder development of the Baureihe 1, which were the original Einheit locomotives, the heavyweight two-cylindered 462 Pacifics. It's just that the O110s were three-cylindered Pacifics, also heavyweight. There were 55 of them built between 1939 and 40, but the numbering is a bit odd. You had your prototype locomotive, number 1001 or 1001, however you want to say that. But then the other 54 were numbered 01 1052 through 1105, which had to do with the fact that 50 of the locomotives that were ordered had been transferred to the decapods of the classes 44 and 50 before they could be built. So, they were prioritized for the war effort. And, it was because it was in the early days of the European theater of the Second World War, it wasn't it wasn't really that good of a time to be building heavy express locomotives because, low priority. And of course, they were initially streamlined, and the streamlining sucked.
It sucks so fucking much.
On three-cylinder locomotives because it was a nightmare. Maintenance on a three-cylinder locomotive with German streamlining, forget it. It wasn't practical in the slightest.
But it looked a lot better than on the 16s. I'll give it that.
In my humble opinion, all German streamlining sucks, and that's something that's something that I can't, that I won't change my opinion on.
Also,
but anyway, tractive effort on the O110s. Initially, they were they had 1999 millimeter driving wheels, so they were just 1 millimeter short of 2 meters. So on steamlocomotive.com, that's listed as 78.7 inches. Boiler pressure is the more standardized rating of 16 bar, or 232.1 pounds per square inch. And you had a threesome of, you had a threesome of 19.7 by 26-inch cylinders, so 500 by 660 millimeters. Though then again, on the rebuild version, that's listed as 19.69 by 25.98 inches. But whatever. Tractive effort, 37,942 pounds on the O110s, at least on the streamlined version. But I believe the cylinder were ever so slightly tweaked or whatever. So for whatever reason, they produced a little less tractive effort when they were rebuilt by the Deutsche Bundesbahn in West Germany, when they produced 37,874 pounds. But yeah, one of them didn't last very long for the DB, and the rest, they were all upgraded and modernized with new welded high-performance boilers. 34 of them were even converted to burn oil, and that was basically the ultimate version of the O110s. I believe they all operated up to at some point in the 1970s. That's when they were retired. And 10 of the 55 engines are still preserved. And in the 1990s, the O1-1102, which was the 52nd locomotive of the class to be built, that was taken back to the workshops in Meiningen, even though that was actually in former East Germany, but whatever. But yeah, it was rebuilt, and it was the only one to be re-given the streamlining, which in my opinion was actually a bad move. I get it, it's quite historically significant. Some may say that it's awesome, but you gotta feel bad for the guys that gotta do the maintenance on it. So yeah.
Well,
So yeah, there's that.
Like about German streamlining.
well, guys, for the people who are complaining about how we were ranting about the E2, I well, not the E2, well, maybe the E2, but the T1, I present to you the big book, the not so big book of Who Gives a Fuck. It appears though it's empty.
You were literally making that.
It appears though it is empty.
Speaking of Pennsylvania Railroad, we really have to basically. I have to get this out of the way. Fuck.
It appears though that the book was empty.
I have to get this out of the way. The Pennsylvania Railroad S1 was built in 1939. It was a collaboration between Baldwin, Lima, Alco, and Pennsy Juniata.
Wait. Can I?
It's shown at the,
Okay, I guess
the
you can.
1930 New York World's Fair with Pennsy 7002, and I believe the General, and then it was pressed into service in 1940, where it operated between Chicago, Illinois, and Crescent Line, Ohio, and then that's the only place it could operate because it was so big, and it had wheel slip problems because there wasn't enough weight on the drive wheels, and then it was so long that it was too big, and they were reform over function, and it was finally retired in 1949 and scrapped or something like that.
And let's go back to the not so big book of Who Gives a Fuck about the S1. Let's see.
You know what? This may take a while, but I'm going to
No one.
calculate tractive effort for the 18201 myself.
Anyway, though,
Jesus.
since
This may take me several minutes.
Steven did most of the information about the S1. Steven did most of the information about the S1, but what I'd like to talk about is something even more ridiculous. The S1, when it was first built, was an astonishing length of 146 feet long, not including the tender.
What? I mean, that has to include the tender.
It wasn't tender. And I thought I already explained the whole locomotive and all that stuff. Like,
It was the world.
I already
It was
talked
the-
about it. I rushed through it so we wouldn't have to talk in depth about it because it would be beating a dead iron horse.
Let me go back to the big book of Who Gives a Fuck.
Andrew's Big Book of Who Gives a Fuck by Andrew.
Chapter 12. Nobody. Chapter 10.
17, nobody.
Chapter 10. A bunch of foamers. Wait, what?
Chapter 17, nobody.
Yep, you're right about that. Chapter 18. The bunch of foamers I have in the back of my van. Wait, what? Anyway, though. The S1, as clarified, was the largest streamlined locomotive ever built. Bigger than the big boy.
But it pulled the same as a Berkshire.
It pulled the, yeah, that's pathetic, don't you think? It had the same amount of tractive effort as a Burke, and yet it was triple the size. Triple the size and triple the amount of materials wasted on it. And triple the amount of fanfares for some reason, even though the thing was useless and predicted as the locomotive of the future. But, as stated in the big book of Who Gives a Fuck, who does?
I wonder if there's a retard out there that actually wants it preserved.
I wouldn't doubt it. And if there is,
Yeah.
I will show them the big book of Who Gives a Fuck and then reveal what is actually underneath the cover.
What's underneath the cover?
And what's underneath the cover is what I will sentence them to. A life of this.
Yeah, make sure that it's in the desert.
Yep, in the middle of the desert, no water. I'm going to leave them there. What was that?
It's a burp.
Okay, please don't do that again. Anyway. Just looks up at the camera for like,
Boiler pressure.
All right.
The boiler pressure of the S1 was
No,
couple
yes,
of books.
18201.
What's an?
The boiler pressure for the S1 is a cupful of boogers.
Well, I think that's really all the streamlined locomotives that we really need to talk about, because all of the other ones are
Well, again, I'm still busy with the
poggers.
fucking
What's another one we could talk
fucking
about?
18201.
I just named one.
What?
I think I know of
What
one
is
that we could
another
talk.
one? What is another one?
How about the underrated?
4460?
Nope. What do you think it is, huh?
Union Pacific 49er?
Nope.
Milwaukee Hiawatha? That's one we should talk about. We got to talk about that, of course.
We'll talk
Forgot
about
that.
We'll talk about those, but it's not the one I'm thinking of.
What railway was it from?
Here's a hint. It's from Canada.
Oh,
We have
is
to
it Royal Hudson?
end your Dan by calling
No, not the Royal
Oh,
Hudsons.
the bullet nose Betties?
Yes.
Oh, Canadian National.
Thank God we're talking about those engines instead of the
The Hudsons for like the 20 billionth time.
Well, guys, at least I got the statistics now for the 18201. I can give you those already before I calculate the tractive effort itself. So the driving wheels, again, 90.6 inches in diameter, so 2,300 millimeters. Cylinders, they were apparently new, I think. They were taken from a different locomotive. You had a threesome of new 520 by 660 millimeter cylinders. So that's 20.47 by 25.98 inches. And the boiler pressure was apparently a bit high, 16.3 bar, which is 236.4 psi. Now, if you'll give me another couple minutes, I'll have the tractive effort all calculated.
This orange is gonna haunt my dreams.
I'm more or less just bored as fuck,
Well,
waiting for our opportunity to talk about the next engine.
well,
Yeah, I'm very sorry that it's taken me so long, but
yeah.
I couldn't find the exact figure right away.
Well, how about in the meantime, I just make a random meme template.
Is it you eating the orange? Because I certainly hope not.
Oh, I know what I should do. I should get when I watch the episode later. I'm probably going to take a screenshot of it and then put orange on there.
This is the template. What is this shit? You can literally insert anything onto my hand. I don't know, like just like this. Like, what is this shit? Or I don't know. What is this shit?
So fucking tired.
Wait. I got a good meat. Got a grenade.
Hold on.
Grenade. Oh great! Now I hear somebody's car alarm going off.
And my brother's playing guitar music on the background.
Well, how about we?
It's probably the bass solo turd burglar. And know anything about music?
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird. The birds are working. Bird.
That can't be right.
You felt exhausted, but you never knew why you felt exhausted.
There. The most appropriate place to put a pencil.
Funny thing is, like, these past 3 episodes, like the botched restorations, the tank engine episodes, I've always parked in the same place. This episode, of course, I've always parked the Hobby Lobby, the parking lot over.
And the funny thing is, throughout all these episodes, for some reason, it's been very low noted. It's like nothing really chaotic has happened, except for,
The funny thing is, it's only me, you, and Jim. It's just a trio.
We need to spice things up. We need to bring someone random in.
Yeah.
Josh? No.
Owen wants to participate in an episode.
Owen's too boring.
Tell me about it. I honestly wish he was a little bit more of a goofball. I know James is a bit of a goofball. James May. I always wanted to consider Owen more of the straight man of the Five Chime group. Like maybe kind of the serious one, but he's kind of a goofball at times.
It's my thinking grenade. Who shall we bring on?
This cannot be right. This cannot be right.
We need to bring on someone who's silly, who also knows his stuff, who has the material to randomly make some of the most enticing memes. Not me. What, should I bring on a clone of myself?
Yes.
Have you ever fucked a clone? It's great. They all... They know all the right places.
I have no clue. Well, we know one thing. We're not going to bring Michael back in here. Wheeze.
Michael is as useless as this pencil sharpener.
He's always making it like he's always like the fucking know-it-all or something. Like he always sounds like the know-it-all in my
Even though the only thing that I know about is Strawberry 90.
Wait, Andrew.
Yeah?
Andrew, you said that SteamLocomotive.com had a tractive effort calculator on it, right?
Yes.
Where can I find it?
Go to builder specifications on SteamLocomotive.com.
Oh, man.
Found it.
Thanks so much.
I want...
Oh,
Well, how about in the meantime, we think about locomotives that would look horrible if they were streamlined.
horrible with streamlining. What engine does look horrible with streamlining?
I mean, obviously the C&O Hudsons, or, well, they used to be Pacifics, but whatever.
Basically, yeah. I think those Frisco, the Firefly engines didn't really look too, they kind of looked awkward because they had their bell exposed and it was a swinging bell. Those Frisco 462, they were streamlined.
Oh, speaking of exposed bells that are streamlined, how about we talk about Duchess.
Wait,
no,
which one?
Not Duchess. Was it Duchess of Hamilton? No, obviously not. That's an A4, I think.
No. You mean
Hamilton was a Coronation Pacific.
Yes!
What are you high?
Yes, I'm high. That's why I'm.
Andrew, how do I actually finalize my
It changes it automatically, Jim.
Yeah, but I don't see. Oh, now I see. So finally, tractive effort for the 18201. Final verdict, according to SteamLocomotive.com, with the variables that I filled in, 36,216 pounds on that green botch job.
It's about
that green exceptional botch job.
It's about fucking time because you spent half the goddamn episode trying to look it up.
Yeah, because I couldn't find it in the Imperial measurement system. I literally had to use the SteamLocomotive.com tractive effort calculator. But needless to say, it's very powerful and for what it is. Keep in mind, it's literally built from parts of other locomotives, and it could still easily do 180 kilometers per hour, which is like 112.5 miles per hour.
You took so long. They rebuilt the 2174 already.
Imagine if they restored. Imagine
No,
if
they
they
had to
restored.
completely rebuild it from the ground up,
Yeah.
and they could have refurbished 2156 in the meantime.
I mean,
Or better yet, they could have completely refurbished an 8F that was initially just reduced to just a smoke box and part of the frame rotting at the bottom of the ocean.
I mean, when it comes to locomotives, the base wind
You
is.
said you want to talk about the LMS Coronation Pacifics.
Yeah, we'll talk about the. Actually, let's talk about two more, and then how about we do another part, like another segment with Streamline? How about?
Yeah,
Oh!
Coronations, dude. The Coronations were streamlined.
I know. Wait! I got an idea. What if in another one we talk about locomotives that weren't streamlined but were also streamlined?
Like, let me just talk about the Princess Coronations now.
Okay.
These were built between 1937 and 1948, and they were basically the pinnacle Pacific locomotives of the biggest rival of the LNER, the LMS, the London, Midland, and Scottish Railway. And
which has my favorite livery.
Several classes of steam locomotives designed by William Stannard. 38 of them were built, numbers 6220 through 6257, though unfortunately, if you don't like the British Railways era, sadly that last one, number 6257, was built during BR days, so it was never actually numbered 6257, but instead 46257, because LMS engines got a prefix of 40,000 added to their engine numbers to distinguish themselves as, British Railways locomotives that were designed, that were built using an LMS design or whatever.
Well, I'd suggest maybe getting one of the other the Coronation Pacifics that survive if 62. Does 6257 survive?
No, it didn't.
Oh, okay. But
Let me,
that would be an interesting cosplay. Like, what if 6257 during LMS days? Like,
there have been other big four locomotives built after nationalization that masqueraded as themselves in their big four liveries. But needless to say, let me just continue on. The Coronations, they were 4-cylinder Pacifics. They had a foursome of 16 and 97 pounds. So that's almost a straight 40,000 pounds right there, which for a British Pacific is a lot.
Yeah.
But there was a bit of a problem with the Coronations. Although they were streamlined, and the first 10 of them were streamlined at least, and although it worked, and although it was aerodynamic, it was more so of a publicity stunt, and even Stannard himself admitted that streamlining didn't make those Coronation locomotives that much faster. So when it comes to all of those that were fitted with the streamlining, that was actually fairly quickly taken off. Right now, I don't know exactly when the Coronations were retired, but I do know that 3 of them have been preserved. You have 6229, which is currently once again preserved in the streamlined condition. You have 6233. So 6229 is Duchess of Hamilton. That has operated briefly in preservation, albeit with its BR number. Then you have 6233, Duchess of Sutherland, which has semi-recently come back in LMS Red, non-streamlined, by the way. And then you have number 6235, City of Birmingham, for me, sadly preserved in British Rail Green, and it's enclosed in Think Tank, which is a science museum in Birmingham. But needless to say, the Duchesses, they were a really damn good piece of kit. They were just better without the streamlining. Just like the Baureihe 110 on the Deutsche Bundesbahn. Sorry to rub that in. But I will admit, at least the Coronation streamlining is actually appealing, in my opinion. Even if it does look like an upside-down bathtub. More so than the A4s.
You went on for so long, they restored 4005.
I didn't drag on that long about
I'm joking.
the flipping A4s.
You know,
I
I'm
mean,
joking.
about the flipping Duchesses.
But how about we talk about one of the more underrated? Streamline! The Hiawatha's!
You were gonna talk about the fucking bullet nose Betties, weren't you?
Yeah, but let's first talk about the Hiawatha.
Yes, I dare say probably the last 442 Atlantics built for service in the States.
Yeah.
And also
because
known
I remember
as
the Hiawatha is more so the name of a passenger train from the Milwaukee Road, and they conceived two classes of locomotives to pull it.
those
One
were
of them
the
was the class of Atlantics, and the other one was a class of Hudsons.
and the A's.
They were the Hudsons, right? Or the Atlantics?
The A's were the Atlantics, and then the F7,
A for Atlantic.
and then the F7s were the
Yeah, the
Hudsons.
F7s, they were the Hudsons.
Yes.
$7 to give, one for each axle in the locomotive itself. Yes.
I get it. Well, then again, that would take the context out of the not so big book of Who Gives a Fuck. But I'd like to talk about the A's.
Yeah.
The A's, specifically 442 Atlantic types, obviously. These locomotives actually attempted to break the world steam speed record alongside a Mallard, and well, they got really close, up to 100. 442s almost became the world's fastest steam locomotive. So imagine how things would have gone if the A's took the crown and not Mallard. How do you think that would have gone?
Not well.
Just
One probably would have been preserved.
yeah.
Think about it. If they were like
Honestly,
that, you know?
we needed one. What?
Then again,
You know, I was talking about this.
I think. Are there any other like Milwaukee Road locomotives that were preserved that weren't just the Northerners?
I don't know. Honestly, I can't think of it. And
So all I know is 261, of course, and 265 at the IRM.
but
Huh?
honestly, we need an A. Those things were great engines. They had a good balance between speed and power. Well, not really. They were mostly just sped. Like, incredible amounts of sped. But when it came to the locomotive's design, they were also very good when it came to maintenance costs, too. With the large diameter drive wheels and the small size of them, they were easy to maintain. So, I'm
Also,
not...
can I point out, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the A classes, I don't think they had a whistle. Or they instead just had an air horn, no whistle.
Ugh.
I hope you run in a special place in hell.
But, either way...
Sorry, that's guys talking in Gmod.
But either way, we needed one of the Milwaukee Road's, streamlined locomotives preserved because, I mean, one, the streamlining and the livery were amazing, and then two, their incredible speed. I could talk about the Hiawatha's A's all day, which I have before actually, because once I talked with my dad who he's into trains and with me, but I talked about the idea of what if they built a brand new one from the ground up.
I honestly would like to see, although it wouldn't be able to be as sped, you could run one of those Atlantics on a tourist line or something like that.
If you can't really run it,
Probably wouldn't be able to, pull very long train.
Yeah, they were pretty slow, but we could have at least seen one preserved because, they were small, but actually, now that I realize it, they were the fastest 442s ever made. I'm not counting the PRR2.
If somebody makes a Milwaukee Hiawatha, or if somebody were to make one, they probably should also fit it with a whistle.
And I'm not counting that stupid PRR Atlantic that people keep foaming about because, it was recorded at this.
Oh, 63.
No, 7002.
The replica was 8063. Which, to be fair, 8063 is the only Atlantic type that I know of that operated in the States in excursion service.
Fair enough,
Thank you, Strasbourg. Thank you very much for at least choosing something different than not a fucking other Connie.
Honestly, Strasbourg is known for not choosing a Connie because, one, you got a Decapod, a Mastodon, and a Mogul. Pretty strange wheel arrangements. Unique.
The thing is, I think that, not counting 611, I think that 7002 is probably the only engine from, the only Strasbourg engine to have a trailing bogey.
Yeah. True. Because Strasbourg does seem to prefer locomotives that don't have trailing wheels for whatever reason.
You're not.
That's just because they're small enough to still fit in with a bit of a scenic motif that's going off the railroad, I guess.
You're right, Stephen. I never thought about this before. I literally never thought about it.
At least they can support a 484 Northern.
Yeah.
Kind of depends on what kind of Northern, though. Because to be fair to the 611, I think it has the advantage of having rather small driving wheels for a Northern.
Yeah.
Well, they were mainly service engines because they were designed in the 40s.
Yeah.
But did anyone get any information about the Canadian National 482s?
No.
I don't know shit about those engines. I don't know shit about them.
Wait. Suddenly, I actually have another good candidate for streamliners.
We've been going on for an hour and 23 minutes now.
Let's make this the last one.
Okay.
Another rival to Mallard. How about the Baureihe 05? The big German triple-cylindered Hudsons that smacked the world record before Mallard did so.
Oh, yeah!
The way that, it covers their wheels completely.
But wait.
Yeah, that was arguably the worst version of German streamlining.
But
it literally reached down almost to the very bottom of the wheels to where you have garage-style doors covering the driving wheels.
But Jim, you forgot that this thing was actually hauling cargo up grade, and it went at this speed. So imagine what the speed could have been if the locomotive was going either downhill or flat, and it wasn't carrying cargo.
But Andrew, you want me to talk about the 05 Hudsons then?
Yes.
Okay, so only 3 of them were built in 1935 by Borsig. Let's actually see where that is. Borsig Lokomotivwerke, Germany. That's in. Come on. Which one is it? God,
I'm just gonna say this randomly. Cooking with Hitler, the first step is turn on the gas.
Yeah.
Oh no!
That's so goddamn simple, but so effective for me. Let's see. Okay, Borsig was in Berlin. Like I said, there were 3 of them built. 05001 through 003. They were built between 1935 35, and 37, and they were all retired by 1958. But basically, they had those same, say with me now, 90.6-inch driving wheels.
Wheels of
The 2300 millimeter.
Cooking with Hitman.
And again, the high boiler pressure of wait a tick. Holy cack! They had a very high boiler pressure when they started out. 20.7 bar, which equals 300.2 psi. For a regular for a regular German locomotive, I'll admit that's a lot. That definitely is a hell of a lot of boiler pressure.
It's impressive that a Hudson can have that.
Yeah.
Then again, I designed a Connie that has a 300 psi boiler.
Then again, it did make a meme about 734 having a 300 psi boiler.
Yeah, and that thing was a chunk.
Yeah, I mean, really. Well, then again, then it's also
the
just another
cylinders.
Connie.
The cylinders on the 05s, they were let's see. I'm using the ones that they started out with. A threesome of 450 by 660 millimeters, so 17.72 by, yes again, 25.98 inches. Total tractive effort, 34,463 pounds. And in 1936, I don't know exactly what day, or I don't remember, but I can always look that up on Wikipedia real quick. On the 11th of May, it is believed that the middle child, number 05002, smashed the world speed record prior to Mallard at 124 miles an hour.
Well, 124.
Yeah, but some people would prefer that speed record due to the fact that it was, I believe, with a heavier train, and it was actually on level track.
Oh, it was on level track. I thought it was going uphill.
No. Like, they say that if you want to do a speed run, you have to do it on level track, but whatever. But there's no real solid rule book to that. But anyway, they were also taken out of service fairly quickly. Like I said, they were retired by by the end of 1958. Basically, they were...
Were any preserved?
Yeah. Only the prototype, 05001, was preserved. Which you do have a model of, but tragically, it's the streamlined version.
Okay.
Complete with a swastika on the smoke box, because it was to promote the Nazi regime during the 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin. Sad. And also, here's an extra trippy bit of trivia for you. The 05003 was initially built as a coal-fired cab-forward locomotive.
What?
Yeah.
A coal?
Yeah, I kid you not. A coal-fired cab-forward locomotive.
What? What? No!
No!
Because Germany.
But how?
Fortunately, this arrangement didn't prove to be that popular, so eventually it was rebuilt into a more traditional steam locomotive, with the smoke box facing forward. Not that I have anything necessarily against cab forwards, but if you want cab forwards to work well, make them oil-fired.
But do not fucking make a T-Hawk oil-fired or anything anthracite coal burner. Don't convert that into a cab forward.
If any of you do that, if any of you commit 2100 and convert it to burn oil, I will personally have surgery on you. And I'm gonna, instead of you using stomach acid, I'm gonna be I'm gonna put literal acid in your stomach.
Tonight on Bolton Gear, I convert the 2101 to burn oil and do it properly.
Jim, you do that, and I'm gonna do the surgery on you.
Dude, I said I'm going to do it properly, so not to lose any of the performance. Then you don't have anywhere near as much to complain about.
You do realize that even if you do successfully convert it to burnt oil, it actually will still decrease the power because of the firebox size.
I guess I think that that multiple smaller burners would do the job better than one big one.
Maybe.
There's always room for experimentation. But anyway, back to the 05s. Like I said, the 05001 has been preserved. Sadly, it has been given its streamlining back.
What's so sad about that? I think that's okay. But I mean, then again, it looks like a giant rolling pill. But anyway.
My dad said it looked like a Furby from the front.
Oh no. Temptation's telling me to get Furby.
Oh god. I vaguely remember Furbies.
I remember I used to have one.
Let's see, did I tag one here in the European Locomotive channel on Yes, I did. Thank goodness. So, copy this image. It's not the biggest, but it's definitely workable. So if you're going to look in German locomotives, in my opinion, this is what an 05 should look like. Non-streamlined, small deflectors. That is fucking perfection as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yes. See. That's 5. Up.
And that's the
There's
third
ugly.
one. That's the 05001.
Wow.
Now, the 05s were fairly successful, but I guess that the reason that they were retired fairly early is due to the simple fact that, there were so few of them, and as a result, they couldn't maintain them that well. So, yeah. I guess that's basically it about the 05s. They were just big triple-cylinder Hudsons. Partially streamlined, part streamlined racehorse, part Nazi propaganda tool. But let's ignore that bit.
Andrew, I'm bored.
And I guess on that bombshell we can end.
All right, hold on. Hold on, Andrew. I need to send. There you go. Look in your DMs, Andrew.
Oh, he actually went away.
Oh, God.
And he has been away for nearly 2 minutes.
Where the fuck is he?
Up our... Most likely up our ass.
Wait, what? Who said something?
I said most likely he's up our ass.
Well, I thought I heard Andrew talking. Yeah, this is actually the longest episode I've done recently. I've done out, like, in truck.
Outside of the top 20 Soul Survivors.
Yeah. Well, it's the longest one I've done outside of my house. Like, the longest episode period was the Soul Survivors. The longest one was my personal favorite list.
The overrated stars.
Well, of course it was, because I got to finally roast some engines that everybody just shoves down, like, my throat. Like 7.5, for example. Or, what else? 1225, but that was just in the honorable mention. Like, Sierra number 3, overrated as fuck, although we didn't talk about Strasbourg 9. Instead talked about 475 because it was the easiest Mastodon for anybody to like. Like, nobody really pays attention to the European Mastodons. Andrew, where the fuck did you go? Yes, then he's going to have to deal with the hemorrhoids.
Oh God. So meanwhile, this stream is kind of devolved into nothing.
I could not find the Furby.
Ah, there it is.
Oh, there you go. Also, Andrew, I sent you something in my DMs.
Also, Scooter, Simba, and Elijah have been clogging up the live
Impersonate Owen.
Just try.
Hey guys, did I ever tell you about this overrated pump that I like that is so good? It's so good that I continue to use it on every locomotive, even if I get 5300, which most likely I won't because the B&O museum's a piece of shit.
Okay, I guess you guys are kind of pushing it. But anyway,
Well, impersonate me.
Really?
so I want to restore the 433, and the 765 is overrated.
Oh, look,
Overrated.
look at me. Look at me, I'm Steven. I want to restore
okay,
the 433, which most likely can't happen because it's stuck in the park and I don't know who the owners are, and I need to find... And oh my god, all the Berks are overrated as hell. And oh, look at that, you want to restore 769? It's just another Connie.
Oh wait, I got one.
Okay.
Pancake! Stop throwing pancakes at me! I hate the triflexes, and I also hate the Santa Fe bendy boiler locomotives.
There's more to me than that.
Bendy boilers are love. Bendy boilers are life.
Bendy boilers can go bend themselves out of
I got an
existence.
idea. Impersonate Jim.
Oh, hello there, guys. I appear to not like how industrial locomotives look because of their face-mounted air compressors, which actually look like they have bags under their eyes. And
Wait. How about
wait, I'm not done yet. I'm not done.
Let me try it.
I'm not done with Jim yet.
It should have been a zero of a kind, if I'm completely honest.
I'm not done with Jim yet.
Oh yeah. Well, let's go preheaters.
I'm not done with Jim yet. And also, for some reason, I can't build some locomotives because they're asymmetric. And yeah, I think that's pretty disgusting on my end. Even though they may be asymmetric, but they look amazing in some areas and they were pretty good efficiently. And I can't control myself because I think that the old stuff for this is better. And I think that the community of RSG can go suck a dick, even though the community is the thing that sucks and not the gauge.
Are we just roasting each other at this point?
Yeah, wait, I forgot to do an Owen impression. Oh, I just made this concept of a Western Maryland Vanderbilt tender. This is a concept I've made of 2472 with a high headlight. I love the Morris County Central. 385 is Love and Life. It was painted green just like 722. 4039 is being restored, and I'm squeezing some me milk out of my wheat.
What was that? Let me try doing AJ.
That's almost a mandatory meme when I'm talking about French.
Wait, I got one. How about we do now? Let's impersonate Dan.
You do, Dan. I want to do AJ.
1187 is at the age of Steve Roundhouse. Yes. Fucking no, man. Jeez. What fucking Christ.
Hey, yo, fellow Muslim man.
Fellow, hey, oh, wait. Oh, yeah, in the chat.
Hey, do you want to commit genocide with me?
No, I think, Andrew, are we done?
I'm gonna, yes, I think we're done for this episode. And,
oh my god, that was on the recording! Oh my god! Ah!
Now,
Also,
Shut up,
apparently
dog!
Mark's here
Huh?
from Lock TVP.
I know. But
We're like, fuck TVP.
anyway, we will see you guys next episode. We're going to be talking about the top 10 unique Connies. And basically, these unique Connies are like to prove Steven that his saying, it's just another Connie, can sometimes be incorrect. Because there are some...
No, shut up, Andrew. Shut up, Andrew. All 280s are exactly the same.
Said the guy who put a freaking Connie on his number 1 for retired Steam Excursion Stars.
Touche, Andrew. Touche.
Yeah.
But Steven, that's like saying all rocks are the same.
Rocks? That's because all rocks are the same. Except for those little
saying that all babies are the same.
They are. All babies are the same. They're
That's like
identical.
saying that all Porsche 911s are the same.
Cosmetically, they are.
But yeah, next week we're going to be talking about the top 10 280 consolidations. And these are going to be like very unique ones. Like either they have high speed tractive efforts, or they're tank engines, or they're basically just unique Connies. So we're going to talk about that next week, and we're gonna get your ass, Steven.
Oh man, I'm not going to be looking forward to this episode. G to the D.
Anyway, we will see you guys next time on Burning Subjects. I'm gonna go burn down